Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This will be our counseling session for tonight. 30 minutes of analysis, and where do we go from here with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Bob Pompeani, Chris Mueller with you tonight at 412-575-2600. That is the number to call. You can also hit us up on Twitter at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller, PGH. And Chris, at the beginning of the season, everybody looks at the schedule and starts figuring out, okay, this is a win, this is a loss, this is a win. I don't think many people thought they'd go to Buffalo and win and then come home and lose back-to-back games in the manner in which they've done it. And now here they are in a conundrum. They're 1-2. Their offense looks worse possibly than it did last year, which I didn't think was possible. And the question is, how much worse can it get? So what do they do to try to turn things around, knowing they got to go to Green Bay coming up? And Green Bay is a team that's gotten it together with a really exciting and entertaining come-from-behind win last night in Frisco.
You called this, what, a counseling session tonight? Yeah, I got nothing but tough love and hard truths for people. Sorry to say. You asked, too, what can they do to get it together? I really don't see anything, not on offense. That offensive line is wretched. They got very much out ahead of their skis with how they decided to address that side of the ball, that particular area. A bunch of 4th and 3rd round picks, a guy who had never been an offensive line coach, and Adrian Clem at the NFL level before this season. I thought they felt they would just make it work. They completely ignored conventional wisdom in the NFL these days, which is you build your offensive line and then you plug and play running backs. They thought Najee Harris, what was he going to get? Invisible yards? Now, the only thing that's invisible are actual yards for him, at least on the ground. You get Pat Freiermuth in the 2nd round. That's a nice pick, but none of it addressed their biggest weakness. I don't think the offense can get better, frankly. Their best chance to stay competitive in games is to get their defense fully healthy and hope that they play at an almost superhuman level the rest of the way. But look at the schedule. 3 games against teams where I think you're looking at a great quarterback defending MVP in the next one. Denver might have the best defense in football right now, even banged up. They just shut out the Jets, who stink. And then Russell Wilson, who's a bombs-away guy. Somebody tell me how we get anywhere other than 1-5 with this team at their bye week.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. They have to get their guys back on defense and then do what they did to Buffalo, which is put pressure on and make it a little bit more miserable. Yesterday, I mean, I'm sorry. They got to do a better effort defensively, too. We'll get back to offense in a second. But even without some of those guys, if they prided themselves on being a close to an elite defense or one that could be a top echelon defense, even if you miss 1 or 2 guys, key guys, because I see guys missing all throughout the league, you got to do better than what they did. They didn't even touch Joe Burrow, who had been sacked 9 times, in the previous 2 games. Somehow they had to get better pressure on him. But back to the offense. The real thing, there are a lot of things that bug me, but the one is the slow starts. This is, I think, 9 or 10 games in a row in which they have 0 points in the first quarter of a game. They come out, they have all week to prepare for how they're going to start a game, Chris, and they come out as flat as water on a pan. I was going to say
I haven't heard water
else.
on a pan
well,
before.
You know what I was going to say, but I couldn't say it.
Yeah. Yes, true. Well, they've got everybody in that sort of frame of mind. There's a lot I could say. One, they haven't scored in 9 games, going back to last December 2nd in the first quarter. But that was a pick 6 by Joe Hayden. So you got to go a game before that, I believe, to find when their offense put points on the board in the first quarter of a game. I mean, there's one of 2 explanations here, right? They're either getting brutal play calling, like their scripting is just terrible, and that's a collaborative effort between the OC, the QB, and the head coach, or they're just not very good. Or I guess I could go with option C, which is both.